Hello everyone. This is Oni, and today for you I have a review for Outriders. This is an online multiplayer game that was developed by People Can Fly,
What's this?
who previously did work on Bulletstorm. And
Zahidi,
as usual,
found some ancient
I got
carvings.
some just random uncut footage from a
Some
time of when I played.
glyphics from
So
Odyssey.
if you're watching, I hope you enjoy it.
Not
So
really my area of
let's get into that
expertise.
review, shall we? You are part of a group called Outriders. It is your job to be the first ones on a planet
I'll look
to make
around.
sure it's hospitable for your fellow humans and to clear any danger that may arise. As you touch down on a mysterious planet called Enoch, and as you enter a forest, a strange anomaly storm occurs. People die, and you get sick and end up in cryogenic sleep again. Fast forward 30 years, and suddenly, mankind is split into factions. You're taken by bandits and put into no man's land, and there's an all out war. What happened? Is the world safe? Well, who knows? The story was a lot more prominent than I expected. Considering the game is a multiplayer looter shooter, I expected the story to be put in the back seat and be built upon with a lot of lore, so if you wanted to know it, would require lots of reading. But no, it's put full front and center for everyone to see. The main driving force of the story is basically just following a signal to see if you can use it to bring down supply pods from your ship that has been in orbit for a few decades. But it morphs and changes a bit on the way. You learn more about each faction that now roams Enoch. You learn how it got this way and how everyone has fared since landing here. Hell, you even learn more about the Outriders, but that's a little more tied to side missions, and there is a lot of lore. I was excited to read the lore anytime I picked some up. You learn about how some of the Outriders left their job behind after everyone started hating each other. How everyone started hating each other. Heck, the weirdest lore is about how people survive in a jungle that has spores that turn your insides to liquid. The back half of the game had me incredibly intrigued, though, and does a fantastic job about wrapping up most of my questions that I had. It was such an awesome journey by the end that I won't say no to more of it. Thank goodness there is an expansion. The game starts off by trying to show you that it's a third-person cover-based shooter, which at first, it kind of worked. But once you actually start progressing, that whole mechanic gets tossed right out the window. So you're constantly running from enemies and trying to kill them before they get you into a corner. When I wasn't used to playing the game this way, I'll admit it was one hell of a struggle, and I raged a lot. But when I finally learned how to work these mechanics, and I got awesome weapon mods, killing enemies as I ran at me was super easy while I hit them with everything I had. When you clear the tutorial, whether that's by playing it or skipping it, you get a class selection. These kind of boil down mostly to what's your favorite element and how do you want to heal. Now obviously they all somehow fit into a typical class of tank, DPS, and support. But when I was running content with friends, none of these categories seemed to matter. We all just throw our powers out whenever we had them and just tried staying alive. It was definitely weird relying on skills for healing though, considering most games it's just don't take damage and you'll magically heal. But I had to do damage and get kills to get health back, so managing your skills is a must. I thought the game would be open world, sort of like the Division series for example, but I was shocked when I saw that it is nothing like that. Each area of the game is its own self-contained area, with a few splitting paths here and there that you get into by activating side quests. If you do that, it's usually just a linear point A to point B, kill the bad guys, go to the next area, get to the end, rinse, repeat. Which I mean, regardless, it's like that and after you've been through an area and done its side quests, there's literally no reason to go back to it. As you do side quests and kill enemies, you level up along with your world tier level. When you increase this, you get tougher enemies, but they also drop better gear for you to equip. Luckily, you can always go back to an easier world tier at any point, like I did when I got sick of dying to enemies or bosses in terrible arenas. It made it so much less infuriating that it was sort of a seamless switch. I just had to open a menu and hit a few buttons. When it comes to endgame content, there isn't much here. You have about 12 little dungeons you can play through with friends, solo, or matchmake with people online, and these are a great way to continue to grow your character. But outside of this, there's really nothing to grow to except for one big raid. But other than that, you get a handful of these dungeons, known as expeditions, and that's it. Unless of course you buy the DLC. It just sucks that it all kinda just falls off after the credits roll. I went into Outriders expecting a frenetic good time, especially because the devs made Bulletstorm. But I found such an engaging and enjoyable story with some fun characters and a rich world. With some friends, this is a fantastic time, and I cannot recommend it enough. And that is why I am giving Outriders an 8 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you'd like to read the written article, it is down in the description below. If you'd like to follow me and everything I do, I'll have my Twitter linked in the description down below. If you'd like to join the Node Gamers Discord channel and talk to me about this review or another review or games in general or just whatever, feel free to join. It is free, we are friendly, and we all enjoy a good time. So, I hope everyone has a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good night. And until next time, goodbye.